And that's the thing. Most people eat too much and eat too fucking often.
Yeah. If we're already working out hard and putting ourselves under sufficient stress and trying, like I'm hanging on by a thread trying to recover from my workouts at age 57, do I need to minimize all other forms of stress, including the metabolic stress of fasting, keto, low carb, time restricted feeding, all these wonderful things? And I'm becoming convinced that give me a reason why I should ever fast again during my busy, healthy, athletic lifestyle.
Well, and I'd also say, at 57, you're in tremendous shape. You're very lean. You have a good amount of muscle on you, but you could kind of also say, what's in your best interest at the moment? In your best interest at the moment is probably to hold on to, if not build, even a little bit more muscle mass, right? Rather than...
He's always saying that to me, listeners. I come in here every time, a little bit more.
Yeah,
just a little more.
Yeah, let's give you a little tap of testosterone. And
yeah, a little more muscle mass.
Bump you up a little bit. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people have done something like fasting, because what is fasting and what is keto? Keto mimics fasting. Keto is something that is supposed to help you to eat less. So it's an overcorrection, right? We kept
a good way of putting it.
Yeah, we kept missing to the left with our field goals, right? And now we're probably missing to the right, and now we need to figure out a way to kick the ball down the middle. And what if you have breakfast, and what if you just simply don't overeat? Do you still feel great if you have breakfast at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and then maybe at 1 p.m., do you still feel good if that breakfast was something that is, good for you?
Right.
Something that's, I guess, like a natural food. Like if it's a whole foods, it probably do. You probably do feel good.
Yeah.
And I also think there's so many different versions of fasting. I think a fast away from your phone is a good idea. I think there's certain things, when I go out to eat with my wife, I usually will fast from my phone. I put my phone in a drawer. I don't bring it with me. She has hers. If our kids need us for some reason, then they can contact her. Stuff like that. I try to practice stuff like that often, because I just think it's a healthy practice. For me, I love food. So for me to fast away from snacking is a really good idea for me personally. For me to have parts of the day where there's hours and hours where I don't eat is also a good idea, because I fucking love to eat. So I do eat breakfast pretty often. Sometimes it's just a shake with coffee, and other times it's an actual meal. This morning it was an actual meal. It just kind of depends, but I don't give a fuck. I don't care that much about the fast. I did do some of that for a while. I did some of that for a little while. And then I also kind of recognized this is nice to manipulate my body weight and stuff. But every once in a while, my eyes will be sunken in. I'll just look really tired. This is not good.
Yeah.
And so I didn't like some of that. So I'm I'm just not going to even worry. What am I even worried about it for?
Yeah.
I'm already in pretty good shape. I feel good. Let me just go by how I feel. When I wake up, if I'm kind of hungry, this morning I woke up and I'm cooking up some fucking bacon. I'm cooking up some eggs. And I had some bacon and eggs and some fruit, and it was delicious.
Power Project family, how's it going? I hope you guys are enjoying the episode. And I want to tell you, sometimes when you're a lifter, you need certain pieces of equipment that's going to help you perform a little better in the gym. Just like the hip circle is going to help warm up your hips, knee sleeves are going to keep your knees warm when you're squatting. The slingshot's going to help you bench a little bit more. But the cool thing is that Mark made all of this equipment when he was in the middle of his powerlifting career, because he wanted equipment that could help him perform better, as it can also help you perform better. The cool thing is that all this equipment was made for lifters by lifters. Andrew, could you tell them how to get it?
Yes, that's over at markbellslingshot.com, and at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject10 to save 10% off your entire order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
I think this is why it's so dope that we're not selling any type of diet here, because this is the thing about nutrition is so fucking all or nothing. It's the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah.
Because if somebody says, oh, do the carnivore diet, they think you're perpetually doing the carnivore diet every single day of your life. And if you eat some fucking fruit, like Paul Saladino talked about, it's not carnivore anymore. You know what I mean? There's so many comments of angry carnivores that were like, oh God, he's eating fruit. Oh my God, he's not carnivore anymore. Let's not call that carnivore.
You're going to get fat eating that apple.
Michaela Peterson in that comment section, she had a point, because some people do carnivore because certain things give them autoimmune issues. So those people need to stay away from fruit. But how about the people that can eat a fucking peach and not break out in hives? They're okay. And it's the same thing with fasting, because this guy, Jay Feldman, it's probably really dope. And fasting is a stressful thing. But when you adapt to the stress of not eating, it's no longer feeling that stressful, right?
Very good comeback. Yeah, that's right.
And that's the thing. Most people eat too much and eat too fucking often.
Yeah.
So maybe picking up a little bit of a practice of fasting for a little bit so they can understand how to not feel food focused is beneficial. Because nowadays, I think in the beginning when we started fasting years ago, I took it too far. Like I was fasting every day, 16, 20 hours and eating everything within a 4-hour window. So I backed off of it. Now I fasted this morning, but when you offered me a piece of chocolate, I was like, fuck it, I'll have a piece of that chocolate. I don't give a fuck, right? And it's not fasting every day. It's like certain days you're like, okay, I don't really feel like eating until later. And certain days I feel like eating breakfast. All these things turn into, they're tools in a toolbox. We're like, today I'll fast. Today I won't eat carbs. Today I'll eat fruit and carbs and meat. Today I just don't feel like eating. You know what I mean? It's like you're not perpetually sticking to one diet for the rest of your life when you start implementing some of these things.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this shit, everyone's like, I'm a keto guy. I'm a carnivore guy. I do IFYM. It's like, dude, it's not that serious. Pick up the practice, get something from it, and utilize it so you can get whatever transformation you're looking for. You know?
And you can implement it wherever you want. So you can use it if it fits your macros to your advantage. You can be like, well, I did pretty good today. Maybe I didn't eat as much because I knew I was going to go to a birthday party or whatever. And you want to just have that barbecue and you want to have the cake and whatever else too. It's like, well, it fits my macros for the day because I don't care that much. And I didn't eat that much earlier. Or maybe the next day you spend a little bit of time fasting. I think our modern day intermittent fasting is like a joke. You know, it is. It really is. Like, I'm going to drive past all those grocery stores and not stop in and like get fresh food. It's definitely like a modern, United States problem. And if it is a problem at all. But again, the key factor here is just so many millions of Americans. It's quite obvious. The majority of us are overeating, and we need to figure out a way to correct that. Now, that doesn't mean not to eat at all. However, if you ever helped anybody who's very heavy, sometimes it does have to be like really black and white. Like, bro, I got to stress this to you. Do not eat carbs at all. Like, don't fucking touch them. And usually that's a good message for some people because it's something that they can grasp. It's something they can go into their home and they can communicate with their significant other and their family and say, this is what I'm doing. And they're like, hey, well, I'm confused. What diet is this? Like, oh, you see, like, where this says it's got 47 grams of sugar. I can't do that anymore. Nothing has any carbohydrate in it at all. And that's the diet that I'm going to choose for a little while to see if it helps me, to see if it helps me personally eat less. And most of the people that you see that have done keto for a long time, they start to kind of have some different versions of it. You see Paul Saladino going through this different version of the carnivore diet where he's starting to eat fruit. Is he going to start to put in like a vegetable? Is he going to start?
Dark chocolate.
Is he going to start to be like, potatoes aren't that bad, or rice? Like those things are probably coming next. It depends on what he wants to do. If he wants to get like maybe competitive in something, or if he wants to even feel like he's got more energy. I wouldn't be surprised for him to be like, hey, organic rice is not that bad, or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and
hey, how's it? Sorry. I'm not going to whisper. I know you guys are enjoying this content, and we love talking to all these people and bringing you guys great information. So if you could help us out by hitting the like button, because that helps the algorithm, subscribe and hit the notification bell, we're going to continue reaching more people, and we're going to continue helping more people. Talk to y'all later.